What you can't see right now is there's a wonderful live kind of audience that I have right now. And just all of them have been really great artists, some students, some faculty members here at McKendree. And I think rather than going a little bit more individually, I'll probably ask a lot of questions that'll go back and forth with everyone in this group. Just because for me, it's like being around a community has been so important. Just in learning and making too. Very much so akin to what it's like being at Northern Clay Center. Wouldn't you agree, Tippy? Maybe Kyle? Hi. Great, so let's get some started. So you can probably see my close-up cam. It seems to be going kind of crazy all the time here. If I just knock it back there, you can probably see this. As well as kind of my block of clay here too. Ken, how are you doing? He's doing great. Good. Okay, great. So I'll talk a little bit about the Warren McKenzie grant, the Warren McKenzie Advancement Award. I think there might be another winner, or maybe we can have a couple other recipients in this group right now. But for me, it's been a really great opportunity. I have a couple students here right now, and I'd say, like, especially if you're working in clay and thinking about moving on post-graduation, I don't know, it's like it's a great opportunity to learn, to explore, and the funding can be really quite beneficial. Brenda, you teach in English.
I teach in English, yes.
Yeah. Do you have any, like, how rare is the opportunity to have kind of funding for students especially for creative output?
I think for most undergraduates, extremely rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And why do you think that is?
I don't think people take the artistic endeavors that students are, as before they go into graduate school, they're not taking it seriously, I don't think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think so too. It's like when you're a student, you kind of cross this barrier of like all of us, when you're serious about making or serious about thinking about the world, and it's like some sort of testament to kind of growing up, and maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know. But for me, I received it after my grad program, right? Or during my grad program, and it just opened up a lot of opportunities. And for me, it like really. So much is about making and working inside of a community, right? Now, my favorite colleague here, no offense, Brenda here. My favorite colleague, Amy here, teaches painting, and painters are notoriously famous for working not in collaborative communities.
This is probably true, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think that's the case?
We're all alone in our pain,
Alone in your pain? Alone in your...
just trying to really be perceptive, or, we're all working on this kind of one individual project, and, we don't sort of share things that much where we can sort of, let's all wedge clay, or let's recycle clay. How do you do that so fast?
How do I do this so fast? Oh, what am I doing? Okay, so I suppose I should talk about that. I'm making just a kind of a portrait bust. For me, I think I really enjoy making the figure because it's just one of the most direct ways you can represent. And I think representation is important, particularly, especially for people of color, especially for people who come from different backgrounds, especially for people who have historically never been represented inside of the canon of history, really. And for me, I always think of my work as kind of extensions of self. Summer, do you agree? You sort of have taken after.
Yeah, I'm definitely copying you.
Yeah. Do you want to step in front of the camera here?
No.
No. I have this incredible student right now who's graduating. Congratulations, Summer Brooks.
Thank you.
You made it. I didn't fail you. No.
What are you talking about? I could have got more studio time.
You desperately want more studio time.
Yeah.
And you're a little anxious about it too. So my process in clay is typically going to be very hand building. It's very coil building, really. And I just consider coils to be just slabs, really. For those of you who have never worked in, I think, coils or slabs, I don't think that's the case here, but maybe that's the case. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm compressing, and I am kind of doing it very consistently. You can see this wonderful long slab here, also known as, look at this wonderful wall. Wow. I don't know if you can even see this. Tippy, you're the first person I see, so I'm going to rely on your wonderful disposition here to kind of do this.
It's coming across really well.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Which camera is coming across?
Both of them.
Oh,
Oh, both. Oh, look at me. Okay, great. So for me, I tend to build relatively quickly. I have discovered that this is my preferred method of building, although occasionally I'll kind of use other methods. I like it because I think of the body as sort of a vessel. It's like a container. And I'm not sure if that's just because of years of working with potters that it's beaten into me to think about clay equals kind of vessel and container, or that, you know, the medium is so centric around the vessel. But for me, at least, I do tend to think about kind of the body as container of organ, container of flesh, container of memory, container of self. All these really incredible and magical things that we tend to associate with are each individual identities, right? One thing I teach a lot of, I don't know, Summer, you help me out. What do I teach? What do I say a lot?
Questions, comments, concerns?
Oh, shut up. I'm not looking for catchphrases.
Okay.
I'm not looking for catchphrases. I'm just saying.
You know,
what
you
do I say
relate
a lot?
the clay to the body and the extension of oneself a lot.
Sure.
Mhm.
What do you think of ceramics as a medium?
I think of it like that as well. It's like, you know, it goes through so many phases of physicality. It kind of takes on its life of its own, and
Yeah.
it can be an extension of yourself. I recently made a mug and it had my fingerprints on it. Some of the pinch pots I've made, so it really is personal.
Yeah, like the intimacy of touch, right?
Yeah.
And that, like, when you press, it like presses back. But also, like, it just, I don't know, it just, there's a magic in it. Brenda, you're attracted to it, right?
I'm extremely attracted to it. Yes.
Why?
I don't know. There's just something. Well, one of the things I love about clay is when you're working with it, you can't really do anything else. Like you're just have to be so present. You know what I mean? Like you can't answer your phone. You can't. You can talk to people, but there's just something about it that's really intimate, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Isn't that weird? Is that weird?
That's true. Yeah.
It is very true.
You know, now I think of it, do I ever make things while I am doing other things? I'm trying to do this right now. It's like drinking, like, I shouldn't say drinking. It's like driving while you're texting. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Yeah, it does require, it can be, I don't like the word demanding, but it asks a lot from you.
Yeah.
Right.
And because clay is so, it seems alive to me. You can't just leave it and walk away. It's going to dry out, or you always have to be kind of, you know, babysitting is the wrong word, but you sort of have to be present with it at the same time, I think.
Yeah.
Not
No.
that different from paintings.
Yeah.
I agree. So right now, I built up kind of this neck form here. You can see a little tiny neck form here. And I typically can probably complete the head in about 5 or 6 different kind of rings. And it depends on how I want to build. I think in this instance, I might go a couple more just because I'm a little nervous about how wet the clay is. Yeah, it does require it, right? It goes through this process that I think is really quite magical. I mean, and I'm talking to a group of people that all know this already. It's just, it's transformative, right? Even in like the wet process, it literally is like the water kind of leaves, it shrinks. All of the things that you input, like the little bits of memory, it will all show and it's all bare out there for you. If your piece explodes, you know?
Yeah, that happens all the time for me. You just change it into something else.
Oh my God. It's like, oh my
Glue it
goodness
back
gracious.
together.
You glue it back together.
Glaze
Right.
it back
You
together.
glaze it, no, don't glaze it. Well, I mean, sometimes it works.
Yeah.
You hot glue it together.
Mm-hmm. And then it works, and you're like, wow.
So Kevin, as you're working,
Yeah.
You know, do you know exactly what the shape is that you're looking for at the end, or is there some creativity that's happening as you're working?
For me, I don't know what I generally work pretty loosely.
Mhm.
That's a great question, actually. I have found that I do like doing a lot of preparatory sketches. I do like doing a lot of like looking at a lot of different faces, looking at a lot of different people, and then building from there. But in the moment, I mean, just like you say, you're responding to a lot of things, right? And sometimes you want something to work out a certain way, or perhaps you want a specific gesture or facial expression. And if I don't anticipate that in this current stage, it's probably likely that I will not, I have to, again, respond to the material, right? I know I'm working on this little kind of head thing here, but if I wanted to do like, say, long hair, you know, something shoulder length, this is probably not going to work right now. I can probably add later, but generally speaking, I try to, well, for intents and purposes, I go pretty the most efficient way possible right now. Great. You'll notice in the close-up cam, I'm doing this like rainbow shape. Look at this wonderful rainbow here. Wow. Does it look like a rainbow? It's a horseshoe, maybe. I'm going to take, essentially what I'm trying to calculate right now is this circumference right here and how this circumference will match sort of this circumference, basically. One trick I can do here is I can sort of start marking up a location. So I've just made a mark really quickly. And I can probably roll this around to see how close I can get to that shape. If it's a matter of that circumference, if I need to stretch this out a little bit more, I generally will try to just kind of slump it in a little bit more, just to get a little bit more length. I think this is going to be okay, and I'm working about 3/4 of an inch. Is there an audio issue? Do you hear it?
I do. Is it the reverb of the? It might be. I have to mute that. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. One thing about working this way is that I can, yeah, great job. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's a little wide.
Oh, wide? Really?
Yeah, yours is a little wide right now. So I have this like kind of bowl shape. Okay. And I'm just going to essentially put it right on here. In order to do that, I'm just going to cut this at an angle here. So I have all this excess clay, and then I think I'll just like quickly slash this all together. Can you turn the volume up on this thing? Is it?
It's up already all the way.
Can you figure out how to do that?
Let's see. I haven't used the Mac in a very long
I haven't
time.
used the Mac. Great. I'll just continue to build here. So, you know, just basing off the form here, I'm going to just quickly start to, I think, pinch this up. And as I'm pinching this together, I'm working relatively quick to get the kind of clay attached. I'm going to stitch them together, meaning that I will take the clay from one slab to the other slab, and I will again kind of push it in and push it out here. By stitching, I do prefer this method because you just have a little bit more control over the kind of width as well as the thickness of the material. And then from here, I generally will kind of work relatively quickly to smooth out the form here.
What kind of clay are you using, Kevin?
Right now I'm using this low fire earthenware. It's a white color. I like this because it's a little bit neutral, and I'm planning on using this kind of orange decorating slip here. I don't know if you see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, orange. Yeah. It's tangerine. Okay. Why are you so orange? I don't know what I'm. It's orange. You glad I have these puns?
Silence.
There's a hint of disgust in the room. That's not from me. How dare you? I give comedy gold. No.
Don't you mean comedy orange?
Yes, I mean comedy orange. Yes, the color.
The color.
Orange.
Not the fruit.
Not the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't there other oranges?
No, there's only one orange. It's orange.
Orange County. That's a place. No, I'm from Orange County.
Oh. No, I'm just kidding. I knew that.
Okay.
So how many pounds of clay are you using typically for at this stage?
At this stage, I'll probably go through the 25-pound bag.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably will. You can see kind of the starting order right here too. It depends on how conservative I am. If I know I'm running out of clay, I will use less clay, obviously. And I'll balance this with speed. So with time and management, I think that usually is probably a much better job. Okay, you can probably see this and see it starting to come together. It's looking a little rough here, but you know, who said, you know, people are perfect? Nobody's actually perfect. And if you need me to remind you that, Brenda.
Can you show us the inside too?
Oh yeah, sure. Here, we can look at this. Oh, can you see that?
Yeah.
Look at my unshaven hand. No,
Shaven.
nobody shaves their hand. That's awkward. Thank you. Sure. Okay. How's it going? I have some people here in the studio. I feel like a YouTuber right now. Like, welcome to my Twitch stream. Welcome to my. Is that a thing?
Welcome to my. Hey guys.
Hi guys. Welcome back.
Welcome back to my channel.
Today we're gonna unbox your anxiety, fears, and hopes. Let's unbox. We could do ASMR style.
ASMR clay.
ASMR clay. Yeah. You know, I should have done that as an assignment. Go viral. That's a bad
I
assignment.
really wanted to.
That's a bad assignment.
That
in
would have been
context.
fun.
Viral pandemic? No. No, not. No, Orange, you glad I didn't ask? Okay.
This is why I'm a painter.
Brenda, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Are your grades, have you finished a grade?
No, I have not finished grading.
You know, we get those emails by the hour about,
Yeah, I know.
you know,
I
needing
know.
to finishing everything. Oh, God. I think I just finished today, earlier. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good. You know, you get those last minute stragglers.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you have any summer plans?
Yeah, I'm going to Santa Fe on Saturday.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Yeah, very excited about it.
For what reason? Are you going for a conference
No,
or?
no, fun.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Santa Fe's amazing.
It is. It's going
Land
to
of
be.
enchantment.
Except I tried to get my tickets to the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum too late, so I'm on a wait list.
That honestly is a great museum.
I know. Don't tell me.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was spectacular. Santa Fe is probably one of my favorite places, besides Minneapolis, in this wonderful country of ours. I mean, generally the Southwest, I really love. Have you been before?
No, I'm the first time.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that little center square.
Yeah.
Green chili.
Yeah. That's what everyone says. Green chili burgers.
Okay, so again, I'm just sort of like taking my time here and building things out. Maybe we can talk a little bit about what the pandemic has done for artists. Amy, what do you think? Just open up the door. So I'll start with me, right? I have found that it's been difficult to make, especially in the beginning. You know, you start off thinking about like continuing a practice, right? Continuing this thing that you really love to do. And that's honestly for me is literally going like this, right? I love doing this. And the pandemic like shifted the way I think about the work, you know, and for a while I was like, what is this even? Right? Yeah. Like, who's to say that the ideas that I have in the larger scheme of things, like what does this mean? How can I be concerned with like this when people are dying, people are being irresponsible, our social political climate has been kind of heightened to a point where, yeah, it's just like, how can this hold a candle to that? And I don't know, it took me a long time to, I think, figure that out. And I don't want to say that it's a new normal, but I don't know, I'm just a lot more conscious about kind of the things I'm thinking about, the way I'm approaching them, and being a lot more mindful about it. How do you feel about it?
You know, I feel the same. I think there was a point, at first I thought, oh, this is great, I have more time. You know?
Oh, right.
I can go
like
in and
more
I had
time.
all these plans, and then I just felt like nothing had meaning. You know?
Right, like this idea of meaning, right? And like finding meaning and finding place and finding, and for me, like community too, right?
Yeah. You didn't have that. I mean, we're just so, you meeting the big grocery deliverer.
Right, yeah, like all of a sudden you don't have anyone.
Community.
Right, and like on one hand, you get to kind of connect with people worldwide, which I think is a wonderful thing. But on the other hand, it's like this, this. You know what I mean?
It's lost.
Yeah, it's lost a little bit.
Yeah.
Summer, now you're the youngest of all of us in this room right now. You graduate, you went to school. You know, what's the young person's point of view in this?
I mean, school was hard at first to make, and I think a lot of students just weren't there mentally. It's hard to go back into a pandemic when like literally the news is like, oh yeah, our cases are rising, pretty high. And also I lost my studio space over the summer. I was not allowed to come in at all and make anything. Right. And then with all that, the protests and stuff happening over 2020, it was it was like my life, the way I viewed my life, it was very different. That was the first time I wasn't in the protest, but that was the first time I've ever seen anything like that. And to compound on top of the pandemic, it was like, wow, how can I make work that talks about that? Sure. And that was really important to me. And I came out of, going back to school, that's what I really want to focus on, is making work that matters,
That's
to me and
right, to you and great. Yeah. Yeah. One thing I will say, especially about what has happened over the summer too, especially over the summer, I just think that, especially your generation, to see the amount of excitement, activity, action. Like I had never, in my relatively young kind of life, I had not seen that. To a certain extent, Occupy Wall Street, but that's not exactly the same. I think the fervor is so much different this time around. Yeah. Yeah. And to find, where can you find yourself in the work? Right. Yeah. Do you find that the studio was important for you?
I think the studio space wasn't. It was more of my concepts, because I started creating work that dealt with that through different mediums. But I found that using ceramics was my favorite way to kind of convey that message. But when the studio space was lost, I could still make work that connected to that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty poignant. Just finding yourself in the work too. Yeah. And for you, it was like a time thing. Yeah. Maybe to a certain extent, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, it's difficult. It can be very difficult to find plays, to find meaning, to find content, to find all these things, especially when, at least for me, it felt like, where am I in this? Like where does this work fit inside of that? And it wasn't easy. And to a certain extent, my practice sort of stopped for probably about half a year. And it wasn't until, well, I guess I'm very privileged and fortunate enough to be teaching, that I was at, we have to boot back up into the cycle in some way, sense of form, right? What I'm doing right now is that I am again stitching the two parts together. You can sort of see this come together, right? And again, I'm stitching this up and down. I tend to, again, bring the clay up and then I'll fold it back down with the other kind of a slab or coil kind of coming.
You typically do it mostly with your fingers versus tools? Yeah.
I really like the tactility. I think this goes back to that original, like, why are you in this? Like, why are you in this, and why is it so important to you? And for me, tactility has always been part of the equation. Being able to touch the clay, working in a very repetitive manner. And I'm sure everyone who works in clay understands this. Just there's that incredible, just seeing what happens, How many of you guys have had what I call like miracles happen, like Christmas miracles happen? It's like you make something, then you don't think it's great, and then you glaze it, and it's literally Christmas. Tiffy's laughing. Kyle just sneezed, bless you. Again, I can only see 3 tiles here. 1, 2, 3. It's only us 3. And the third one's my close-up cam, which I just realized you can't really see. Oh, look at that. Oh, gaze into this wonderful depth of a kind of a pool thing. If you have questions for me, especially if you're not here in the room, feel free to ask them in the chat. You know, I have a wonderful couple people here monitoring the chat here, including Sam and also Ken here. Hi, Ken. He's bored. Okay. I guess we can ask questions that way too. What were we talking about? I like never remember anything.
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah. Oh, Christmas miracles. Yeah. That sometimes can be really quite incredible. I do love that about clay, that there's a thing here. Does glaze fix everything?
Yeah. It does.
Nah.
Yes, it does.
I don't think so.
I think it does.
You think it does? You've had failures in glaze.
Where?
Excuse me.
Which one?
Where do you see?
Which one?
What do you mean the
over it.
cracks?
Don't
I
get an
just
ADA.
I just paint over it again and call it a day. Oh no. Okay, so it's around this time when I'm realizing that some of this part here might be problematic. I can feel kind of a weak area right here. But it's around this time I'm gonna start to use kind of this wonderful little, what is this called? It's a metal rib.
A rib.
Wow, rib it up.
McRib.
McRib. Orange, you glad it's a, no.
If you felt a thin spot, would you add clay at this point?
Yeah, I generally would, yeah. I try to avoid this just from the beginning. And one strategy here is to just ensure that when you're laminating the clay together or bringing the 2 parts together, just making sure that they're thick enough, you know. And that's usually how I kind of work that way anyways. It usually, you know, I think in another life, I probably would have been a wonderful car detailer. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe a surgeon. Look, Ma, is my mom on this thing?
I'd like
It's like, is she? Can't look at the chat. Look.
I don't see anyone named Kevin's mom on here.
She's not gonna write her name as Kevin's. She's not gonna write her name.
Does she have an alias?
Who am I talking about? Is Elaine on there? Elaine, are you in the chat? What did the kids say these days? Hit F in the chat.
Shout out to Elaine.
No, no, she's not in there. She's not there. Okay, never mind then. F in the chat, my butt. Oh. What was that for? Is my mom? Sometimes my mom was in chat. My mom said.
You're talking about being a surgeon.
Oh, being a surgeon. Oh yeah, dear mom, I'm a doctor now. Congratulations. Yeah. Welcome to.
Yeah, you do stitching. You know, you put the body parts together in clay.
I do put body parts together. Yeah. I do.
It's kind of like surgery.
Except it's 100% nothing like surgery.
No. No.
Can you imagine? Hi, your doctor is Dr. Cal.
Like, sir, why are you doing that?
Sir, why are you pinching? I'm like a freaking lobster here, just like no. Brenda, this is how I teach. You already knew that.
Oh, you're doing more.
Yeah, no, I'm doing more. Yes.
Kim Garcia says, "Hi, Kevin. Listening to you while I'm at work."
Who is this?
Kim Garcia.
Oh my God, Kim! Oh, Kim, dear Kim Garcia, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're working in success. I hope your crops are watered, your skin is clear, and that the shine is shining down on you. And that all of your, Kim, you're amazing, honestly. We haven't talked in a while, but I know you're doing just fine. I'd like to think that way. Where are you working right now? So, wait, that's private conversation. Maybe not go into that too. So yeah, how did I find my way back? How did Stella get his groove back?
Oh, she responded. She said, "Miss you well. Catch up soon."
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll talk to you soon. How many slabs did I say? 5, 6?
You said 5 or 6.
I'm on 3 right now.
Yes.
Are you almost done?
I'm probably.
Is it gonna collapse?
Is it going to collapse? It might collapse. It's a little wet right now.
Mine is going to collapse. My next.
Yours, yeah, it could collapse. So this is an instance where, you know, for anybody working in clay, you know, you can only go so high before it starts to do this thing, right? Again, like figuring out when that's going to happen.
So do your slabs get thinner as you move up?
I generally actually will do that, yes.
Yeah.
They'll get thinner and thinner as I get higher and higher. The base layers are probably pretty thick right now. And I also know that I've been doing this enough to know that as I build up, everything will slump downward. So one thing to really think about is anticipating that and just making everything a little bit longer or taller than we want originally. Of course, there's another better way to do this, and it's just called waiting, time management. Welcome to Ceramics 101. You've never learned this.
No, I never picked up on that.
Yeah, everything's the best in the first 1 hour of making.
Yeah, I didn't learn my lesson.
Right, I didn't learn my lesson. Otherwise, what else? I put it right in the kiln. Green.
Yeah.
Wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kiln.
Well, that's what the kiln was for.
The kiln is there to dry it out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm never gonna get in. They're gonna like say Summer Brooks was on this. We're not gonna let her into anything.
Summer exploded. Summer
No.
screamed.
She wants to work into the kiln wet. No.
Some people do that. You know, I would say just be careful. Don't do that. No. don't generally, you probably don't want to do that. So for me, it's so right now what I'm doing is I'm spending a lot of time like kind of like hugging this head. You know, I am also trying to figure out the best position to start building and kind of adding features in.
Kevin,
Yes.
Jill Zimmerman said, can you aim the close-up cam up on the pod?
Oh, sure. Oh, you want it upwards. Oh, you want to see the body. Okay, sure. Let me do that. That's better.
Yep,
better?
that's good.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Jill, you're the real MVP here.
Shout out to Jill.
Shout out to Jill. Jill, I don't think I know you, but thank you. So again, I'm just kind of working this way. And I'm starting to hug the kind of form here. And I'm starting to prepare the canvas. And I do call it like canvassing. And this is the part where I start to insert kind of facial features. Now, as I was building it, I did not build in perfect circles. So it's around this time you can start to see kind of like there's a little slight bit of a ledge right here. And this kind of goes up a little bit more. And because of that, I can start to draw in the axis of kind of the facial kind of expression. So I'm going to just use the back end of this kind of knife tool here. And I'll just draw this all the way up. Not too accurate here. And then on the back, I'll try to kind of go down as well too. From here, I'm going to try to create a kind of a cross right here, about 90 degrees. And basically from this point on, it's kind of hard to see in that, isn't it? You can't see it in the, can you see it? Should I just use tape?
You can kind of see it.
No, I think you see it.
I'll use some tape here.
Tape this.
I'll use some tape because that's a lot more visible. Obviously, I'm going to take this off later, but you can start to see kind of the front and the back for this. I think I might just very well leave the aspects of this on so that you can see it at least in the very bottom of this. Now, obviously, you don't want to fire this paper. I mean, I guess you could. I wouldn't.
It burn out.
I mean, okay. Oh, gosh, I guess.
As you're hugging your head, are you pushing like one side forward a bit, starting to think about?
Yeah, actually, yeah. No, that's a great question, Brenda. And yes, I am. I'm already starting to kind of figure this out. You can probably already start to, so I'll face the camera here.
Yeah.
Angel baby. Okay, sure. Brenda, so happy birthday to Dwayne.
Oh, tell him that.
I was going to ask how old he is, but I'm not going to.
62.
62. Wow, that's amazing. He's I saw him earlier out there picking over they cut a cherry tree down across the street, and he's just going in and kind of picking it up.
He's already carving it.
Oh, he's already carving the cherry tree
that
just fell.
Yep, he's already split it and he's carved out shape.
Oh my God. What's he doing with it? More spoons?
Now he makes bowls.
Oh, giant bowls. Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Actually. Oh,
He did have a piece that he was gonna expand.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Nice, like
the small piece.
the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
elbow.
I guess I can start doing this too. Heads are generally pretty symmetrical, and I'm going to face this camera here. So that's right on the most ideal situation here. But that's okay. You can see the tape already kind of established. Very poorly done, mind you. Welcome to my TED Talk. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to make sure that the parts of this clay face are relatively going to start to kind of come forward here. So I know the back of the head here is starting to shape out. And Amy, what would you say the back of the head looks like?
The back of the head is like if you had laid an egg on the top of a little, you ever have a little egg cup? Right? You know those little egg cups you can put like a soft boiled egg in? They're all vegans. You lay an egg on it the wrong way.
I know.
The wrong. Oh, actually, the wrong way.
The wrong way.
The wrong way.
And then that makes the head shape.
Would you agree with that?
Kind of.
That makes sense, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, off the cuff, I'm a painter.
I always say it looks like a light bulb.
A light bulb, that's a good one, yeah.
I mean, I have a light bulb. Yeah.
But not really.
I mean, it's sort of this shape. Just in case the audience doesn't know what a light bulb looks like. Wow. I thought they weren't allowed to use these anymore. Go LED, go home, baby. This is probably the most ridiculous part. Hey, Facebook, have you considered purchasing a light bulb? It's a great idea. No?
Kevin. You should be a streamer.
This is how I lose. This is how I lose my job. It's like this is. Oh my God. Who let this man in? And what are you gonna do? Oh my God. Okay, so from the back of this, I'm starting to already kind of figure out the shape. I do like using a rib for this section just because it is already curved. On the interior space of this, I'm gonna start to push outward. And I'm looking at the close-up cam, which is no longer close-up. But you'll notice that I'm sort of bracing the side here as I'm starting to push out. By doing this, you're going to see that the shape is already starting to kind of come together here. And again, I'm looking at the side silhouette profile here. And I've done this a handful of times. This is my second time doing this. And you can sort of start to see kind of the face coming here too. Weak points when you're building this way generally will be anytime you kind of go in or out really kind of severely. I've had many students here who have experienced that, right? Like you go a little bit too far and it's like collapsing.
It collapses, yeah.
Yeah. Again, the strategy here is to either go very thick or just manage and mind your clay. You can obviously always use, I think, kind of a support beam of some sort. I will generally use, I think, a piece of clay to do that. So if I cut one out right here, let's say I can just cut the negative shape of this out right here, this little space right here. Again, on the close-up cam, it looks like right here. It's hard to see this actually. But in this negative space right here, I can just fill that in. I'm not actually going to go out all that much. And this is probably a signature, something that will generally show up as a signature for what I kind of need to do here. Okay, I think from here I'm going to start to add more things. The shape of the head also starts to change. It no longer is going to be oval, and rather instead you should start noticing that there's a flat kind of side here. And I'm just going to tilt this and watch this collapse on me. I think you can see this in the close-up cam. There's a flat edge here. I generally will build pretty evenly. How are you doing?
How am I doing?
I think you're doing great. Brenda, what do you think?
I think she is too, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Are you surprised?
No, I love clay.
My colleague here, when was the last time you worked in clay?
Probably a couple of years ago.
When's the last time you built something like this?
Never.
The gift of education. Also, if you're thinking about kind of learning more about clay, have you considered taking a class at the Northern Clay Center? They offer a lot of great virtual exhibitions as well as virtual classes. You can sign up just like this one. Sign up today. Sam, what's the link? Hit the link. It's like,
Oh, God. Is this the QVC channel? That's what it used to be.
well, you gotta like, you know,
You got a
don't,
promo.
you got a promo, right? I mean, like, I'm wearing
Take
the
a
merch.
sponsor.
I'm wearing the merch, here,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah, I was just telling Sam earlier, this merch, this, how much is this? $30 apron is yours today. Follow this online. What else do they have right now? I think American Pottery Festival is happening right now.
That's very fun.
Is it? Am I wrong?
The
Maybe.
right now. And the festival's in.
Oh, well, wrong one. Something's happening right now. Something's always happening, and Northern Glass Center is great for that. Something like that. I believe applications for their grants, including Warren Mackenzie, the McKnight, and also MN Nice. I think that's what it's called. I should have a cue card.
You know, the link's in the chat, so I should just look it up.
Yeah, the links are in the chat, students. Oh yeah, go ahead. Apply today. I'm being a little ridiculous here.
Oh, Kevin, you're just being you.
I'm stupid. Do you guys not do workshops a lot, I guess?
Painting workshops are so serious.
Are they serious?
Yeah, usually. Unless you're doing one for like teachers. And that's
Why is that? Painting workshops aren't that serious, are they? It's been it's been decades.
It's
since
been
I've
a
taken
while.
one.
It's been a while.
quite
I mean,
some
I
time.
have to say, you're looking for light and shadow, forms.
Oh, I could talk about that. I mean, you got to discover the form inside of the facial features. If you find the face will find you. I can't even do it. I can't even do it. The intensity of something, I don't know, I guess. I don't know. I'm sort of like whatever about it. Okay, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, so here on my form, I'm going to start kind of coming inward into the shape. What shape is this? It's going to be sort of like a cone shape. And in order to do this, it's going to be the opposite of what I did earlier down here, which was the bow outward. I think for something like this, you'll notice that in my slab here, I have like a thicker end versus a thinner end. So again, the bottom slightly thicker. I'm going to taper this a little bit more. And before I even taper this more, I'm also going to, again, go into kind of this horseshoe shape. And what I want is I want the circumference out here to be bigger, slightly bigger than what this is going to be. I like this method mostly because I can probably create a cup, a cone shape relatively quickly. And I'm going to kind of just hit this outward. So in the camera, it's hard to kind of pick up, but it is slightly indented and kind of curved in like this, just ever so slightly. I do this a lot with the class, and sometimes you guys are like unbelievably amazed.
I'm always amazed.
Are you always amazed?
Yeah, because my stuff always falls apart.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Welcome to the live roast of summer camps.
I work in one stage. And
I work in
it's
one stage,
extremely
and
wet.
sure. I'll flip this upside down, and you'll start to see kind of the shape kind of turn here.
It looks like a Christmas tree stand.
Yeah, it's like a Christmas tree stand. Actually, that's a really good point here. Yeah. And I can feel like kind of a weak spot right here already, just from kind of what I did earlier. What I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to kind of cut this at an angle. I should do it this way here. Kind of like this. Yeah. I cut this at an angle. 40 bevel the cut here. So when I do kind of open this up here, you can see that in this color, is it too hard to see? You can see.
Yeah.
I beveled it, and then I can sort of do an overlap here. I think this is a pretty standard trick. A lot of people already know. It's not really a trick. It's just I prefer to cut with a bevel already. And yeah, it should be pretty good. How's your shape?
I made mine too thin.
Yes, you do have to be pretty conscious about how thick this is. I'm just going to blend
Should I
the parts
start it
together.
over?
It's a good idea. Have any of you guys been in a position where you make the thing and you're like, it's gonna work. It's gonna definitely work. If not, I can force it to work. Versus, and then you put it on the thing and it's fine, and then it starts collapsing, and then you realize, why didn't I just spend an extra 5 minutes going back in time and just fixing it then and there? Right? That just takes practice. Yeah. What am I doing right now? So I have this form, and I'm going to slowly roll and actually pinch upward. So you can start to see kind of this cone shape here. It's all right. How would you describe this? You'll notice that I'm picking it up and also using the table as a compression tool. And as I'm kind of, and again, my pinching action is more like this than it is actually a true pinch. I'm just sort of like compressing this in. And it should lift itself ever so slightly. And then essentially you're making a bowl shape. I mean,
yeah.
Sort of looks like a bowl shape. And then from here, I'll, again, just like rotate, and I will pinch this up a little bit.
The walls are so even.
Yeah, and what do you notice that I'm doing that makes it so even?
I mean, compressing between your fingers, right?
Yeah.
So you just probably have a sense of having done this. Like, I think it's hard for not to get those thin spots in your walls.
Yeah, the thin spots are hard to do, right? And this just comes from experience, I think.
I think they're easy to do.
Okay. The thin spots are, making kind of even walls it can be sometimes difficult here. Yeah, I understand that. Now from a visual gauge, I think this is too small compared to this thing on top here. This thing's quite wide.
Tilt it forward a little bit.
Oh, sure. Which one? This one?
This one. Yeah, the big one. No, tilt your piece just towards the camera a little. Yeah.
Yeah. This is just slightly a little bit too big compared to this, so I'm just going to widen this up a little bit. When I'm attaching two parts together, their saying goes, if it's not together, then they're not apart. If it comes apart, then it's not together. Is that what I say? I never say that.
No, you never say that.
I appropriated that from somebody else.
That's okay.
I don't know. Does anyone know that? Maybe not. Okay, so here I go. Right, if I fit it on my head, maybe that can work. And then essentially, as I place this on here.
I'm gonna move the camera. It's closer. It's a little bit.
Great.
Yeah, there we go.
You can see that there's I call this like a butt to butt kind of thing, where place it directly on top. I don't actually really love this. And this is the part where, again, earlier what I was saying, it's like, if it doesn't match up well, maybe you want to kind of flip it and reverse it. To quote legend, Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott.
Flip it and reverse.
Oh, I was gonna say like Cardi B.
Cardi B never said that.
I don't think she ever said that.
So right now, in this form, it's slightly slanted too much this way. And I actually want to flip this around. So I'll take this and I'll just literally flip it this way. And this just comes with some experience, just knowing kind of what shapes are going on here. From here, I'm going to stitch the two parts together. I don't generally like to stack it right one on top of another. So what I'll do right now is I will actually offset this ever so slightly so that the bottom form is just slightly pushed in comparison to this top form. I have more clay on the top, so that way I can kind of pinch this together a little bit better.
Can you move your close-up cam a little higher?
Oh, sure. Let me do this really quickly here. Who knew that I needed to do this? Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
No, you can no longer see this. I guess you still can. Okay, so let's look at this. So again, on the inside hand, I have my hand in here, and I'm just going to actually, I'm going to pinch upward first. So I'm using that ledge, and I am kind of just slowly moving around. This is probably one of my favorite parts of kind of making. It's like the meditative process. Makes you question all the decisions you've ever made in your life, why you made them. Am I a failure? Why do things keep on happening to me? Brenda, my car exploded.
I heard that.
Who told you?
You did. Was it salvageable?
Maybe you're just not in the moment enough, Kevin.
I did tell you.
Yeah.
I remember I told you. Why did I ask that? No, I bought this new Kia Soul.
Oh.
Amy,
What happened?
I was just driving home from Arkansas. I was picking up this work from a show down there, and as I was driving up the hill, have you ever been south of St. Louis?
Yeah.
In Arnold, there's like this big hill that you go up. As I was going up the hill, my car started sounding a little kind of weird. And as I kept on hitting the gas, don't do that. It wouldn't speed up. And then suddenly a poof happened. A big blue-gray cloud shot behind me. And as I looked in my kind of rear wheel kind of mirror here, there was a lot of oil on the
That's so
back.
weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. I took it to a mechanic, and then they said that they couldn't fix it. There was a whole.
Oh yes, they could.
No, they couldn't. No, the guy was like, no. Literally, the guy was like, this is outside of the scope of what our shop can do.
Oh my gosh.
So when he said that to me, I was like, oh, it must be really bad. And then he like took his camera, stuck his hand into the thing, took a photo of it, and then he showed me. And surely enough, there's a big hole in my engine.
So what caused it?
I don't know. He was unwilling to. He didn't know himself either.
Yeah.
He did tell me that it was going to be quite expensive, so I just ultimately just went for a new car.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It wasn't like it was an old car. It was a 2016.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. As I was talking about this, did you guys learn anything today? Probably not.
Not to press my gas when my car doesn't want to go. That's what I learned.
Maybe when the check engine light is on, maybe don't push it.
Oh yeah, when the check engine light is on, don't go on a road trip.
Change your oil.
Oh no, that's not the case.
Change your
I wasn't
oil
doing it. It was
on
fine
a regular
before.
basis.
Change your oil on a regular basis. Treat your body like a temple. Anything you eat, if you're only eating Taco Bell all the time, maybe you are Taco Bell. Something like that. So once I have this up here, I'm going to start pinching just to kind of make the form out. Can you guys start seeing this? I think it's starting to happen, right?
Yeah.
You can start to see the head here, and oh, that looks incredible.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Brenda,
I love clay.
are you heading out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can everyone say goodbye to Brenda?
Bye, Brenda.
Bye, Brenda.
See you guys. Sorry,
Thank
I don't want the
you.
rest of the tape.
No. Tell Dwayne happy birthday.
I will.
Yeah.
Bye,
Okay, bye. Okay, so it's at this time in which I will slowly start to, again, push out. And on the inside here, I'm going to, again, just kind of pull upward and kind of use this rib to, again, kind of blow some parts out here. Okay, I think we're at the fun part now. This is the part of this workshop in which I will take live suggestions about the direction in which this head should go. Wow, are you excited? You can have your own mark through my point of view on this thing. What do you think? How should we do this? Should we go with hair? We can go with hair first. What kind of hair should this be?
Ken, what kind of hair should it be?
Yeah, Ken, help me out here. Yeah.
Um,
What would people like to learn about?
I feel like having long hair is always something people try to strive for.
Long hair is something people strive for, yeah.
So I think light hair or long hair.
Long hair, even though earlier in the
You were
beginning
like-
when I said long hair ain't gonna fly because I would have already figured this out earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
How about braids?
Braids? Okay,
I
sure.
think braids would be cute.
Braids would be very cute. Be
I wanna
cute.
see the ears.
You want to see the ears?
Oh yeah.
Actually, okay, sure. Braids. Braids it is then. Like how fancy of a braid are we doing? You want like
Like lots of braids?
cinnamon
Lots
buns?
of braids.
Just general braids? Okay.
Lots and lots. You can't hear that, can you?
It's cutting in and out. If you type it in the chat, I will
Yeah.
consider that. Yeah. That might be better. Again, I have all these wonderful moderators here who can. Should I call? Do you guys have producer credits?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We're gonna need to put our
we're gonna need this on my.
handle
I'm gonna need this on my Insta handle so I can
put
be.
this on my resume?
Can I put this on my resume?
I will be putting it on my.
Oh my
resume.
god! You can see it. Oh my god! Jesus. One time I did that one thing for that one person, and okay, braids. I think I could do braids. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll do some sort of braid. Plaiting can work in a lot of different ways. I'm going to start to map out the features because I do think it is a good time to do that. So I'm going to be working predominantly, I have to look at the face when I'm doing this. So I think I might move this camera, although should I try doing it like this? Okay, so I can try to use this camera on this other, oh, you can see my change. Look at my setup here. Wow. Do you guys look at, oh my gosh. How embarrassing is that?
What do you like? It looks good. I mean, the framing of that.
I mean, the framing of this one looks amazing, right? Okay, great. So I'll pull this back maybe a little bit. Okay, so watch me do this without looking at this in front of me, and I will try to guess my features. Okay, so, so facial features wise, you know, I think the chin's probably going to start somewhere right here, and from this, I'm going to sort of loosely draw a line down the center of here. If I had planned this out a little bit better, I would have used the ring and the lines on my banding wheel here to help me out. But because as per usual, I have made no plans for this, I'm going to figure it out with other tools. What tools do I have? Watch me raid the studio. What do I have? What's I need a stick. Let me find a stick. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I found here a good old stick. If you don't know where to find a good old stick, go outside. This one is a barbecue stick. And what I'm gonna do here is, it's not very even, but I'm gonna try to find a straight line here. And I marked this out earlier in the tape. And what I'm gonna do here is I am going to just take this and then sort of run this up here. Does this look fine? Somewhere I'm gonna rely on you.
Yeah.
Great. And I'll just press this in and it should make a line. You probably can't see this on camera, but for me, I can generally see this. I'm gonna spin this to me so I can just double check this facial expression here right now. Okay, great. From here, I generally will start to kind of partition out a hairline here. I'm gonna intentionally go a little higher than I expected to go, maybe around here. And again, I'm just using a visual guide for this. Around this time, you can start to see kind of the head shape right here. It's very welcome to June Kaneko kind of head here. And I'm gonna just use again my wonderful little trusted stick. It is a straight stick here, so versus. And I'm just gonna place this out. Summer, how accurate am I? Does it need to go up or down?
I think you got it.
I think I got it pretty good the first time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what this line will be is this is my guiding line for where the eye sockets are going to go. Generally, you know, I think for me, faces can sort of go in and out. But now that you have a cross that goes here and also down this way, you can start to partition out the face. And I'm going to do this without looking at it from the front. So again, what I'm doing is I'm taking my middle finger and I am just pressing it in. Is this violent? It's like you're gouging somebody's eyes out.
It does look very violent.
Maybe. Right here. And then from here, I'm going to kind of pinch. Usually I will just pinch like this really quickly. And this is the part where you can have quite a lot of fun with kind of figuring out your brow bone right here somewhere. Your nose, somewhere right here. Your cheeks, somewhere right here, which I like to draw giant circles right here, somewhere like this. It's kind of like a chicken cutlet size. It's like triangular. And then kind of your mouth and nose. Generally speaking, your eyes are usually going to be about the middle of whatever the head shape is going to be. Because I know I'm doing a little bit more braided kind of action, maybe perhaps on this top part, this will overall lift a little bit more. So I've placed this slightly higher than I think what I need it to be. Again, because it is clay, I can sort of figure out a lot of different kind of, it is a little bit flexible here. Okay, how's it look? Just by using my middle fingers there, I can, from the side angle, you can probably already start to see kind of a brow bone fitting. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna stick my hand inside and I'm going to push out in the middle. So again, this will look as if my hand is like this on the inside, where the nose bridge is going to be. And I'm going to slightly push out where the nose bridge, and I'm gonna start pushing kind of forward here. This will also help establish the brow bone. So again, what I'm doing here is I am just slowly pushing out here, and then on the other side, I'm also slightly pushing out here. Did that work? You start to see that. All these other kind of smaller details, I think I can probably figure out later. But right now, again, I like this idea of like tapping into coil building because in some sense, it's like building with, you're thinking of the body and the head, especially as a vessel. Yeah, something like that. Okay, from here, I'm gonna probably move this a little bit more so you can really see this. Is the close cam, can you see this, Ken? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Okay, so from here, again, using the same kind of action here, I'm gonna start to define the nose out. Now, I have more or less kind of defined this as a shorter nose here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just holding this in here, just like you're sneezing, about to sneeze, like a little mustache. And I'm gonna just slowly push outward. You can really, really see this kind of show up here. Now, my clay walls are pretty thick, so this isn't going to be a problem. And if you are building on the thinner side, I sometimes will only put a little bit, only for this to, I will add clay on top later, if that makes any sense here. The bottom end of this, I'm gonna start placing out kind of a mouth here. Can somebody give me a happy or sad here? Let's go. Or dead.
Oh, yeah.
Happy.
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 Yeah.
How's it going?
Option.
These students just finished their finals, so of course they're happy.
Tired.
Tired. Oh, I mean, I guess, okay, you know what, that's, okay, so I'll do some sort of happy expression here, and I'm gonna actually, this is a part where I actually will look at the form, because I think I need to actually do that here. Okay, so I've noticed a couple things. From a head-on point of view, it's a little bit too, it's a little squat. So I'm gonna make some adjustments, and these adjustments include just lowering some of the features, making some of them a little bit bigger. This nose area, I think I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think I might have placed the eyes a little bit too low. So I can sort of raise this, again, just by pushing upward into the eye socket. And again, I can lift this up. And by doing that, I can lift up the form a little bit more here. Can you guys start to see the face show up? The side profile is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
This looks terrible on this camera.
I mean, you can see the shadows, but it's like kind of crushing the grays.
Yeah, it's like
together.
welcome to gray. Welcome to Gray Town, party of clay.
But the close-up cam looks good.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hi. Okay. So I'll just draw this face here. I'm gonna do kind of a smile. Oh, look how not sweet that is. Maybe something like that.
Here, can I take off the line?
Actually, I have not made this really well. So this is the part where if you do have a model of some sort, this might be helpful. And I think generally speaking, if you're able and you are privileged and you have the resources to have a model in this pandemic, that would be great. Of course, not everyone has that option. So I generally, since the pandemic has started, I generally will work more from memory anyways, than actual live models here. But that's okay though. Maybe things will change in the future here. Okay, can you see things now? It's like very vague. What does this look like? You know that meme of that test dummy?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Stop. You got it. Done. Demo over.
Demo over.
Demo.
Not really. The stocks. Stocks.
Stonks. Oh my God. Who am I teaching? Who am I ever even teaching here? Okay, so and then right now, this is something I'll probably do. I'll start to push out the eye sockets also. And I just push them in just very, very casually. And I'll try to mirror the two sides here. And again, I do like the using like the walls of the clay. So when you look inside of the form here, and maybe I can try to get this. This is not going to work, is it? Can you see inside of this? Look at this terrible lighting.
Move it back a little bit. Yep, there you go. You can see inside. You can see where you pushed in.
Yeah, you can sort of see my fat fingers here.
Mhm.
Can you lose weight in your fingers?
Kind of, yeah.
I have a terminal degree. Terminal's not the best word.
I'm sorry, you can't lose weight in your fingers.
Why can't
So
you?
lipo for
Some
fingers.
people have lipo for their toes.
Lipo for
Whoa.
toes.
Yes. People have fat toes.
People have fat toes?
Yeah,
Oh,
That seems painful.
it is.
you know, the shoes exist.
People even have toes amputated so they'll look better in sandals.
Oh, that
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand. It's like foot binding, right? Yeah, yeah, sort of like. Okay, so I'm just do some magic right here. I'm gonna. My favorite parts here is this like area right here in your cheeks. You can't see this. And I'm just gonna like slightly push this. So I'm finding the end of this, and I'm just gonna push this in over
I
something
push your
like
back out.
Yeah, so he pushed out the
You push
the
out the eyeballs.
eyeballs.
I'm also gonna push out the chin here, just real quickly.
Yeah.
Just, gonna,
He pushed that.
gonna push things out. And
Oh my
I'm gonna put a
God,
little
that's
cupid's
so
bow right
pleasant.
here, and I'll start to push things out. And I don't know, how did I learn how to do this? Looking at a lot of people, learning from some amazing kind of figurative people, and just generally kind of working a little bit, generally pretty quickly here.
It comes together pretty fast.
It comes together pretty fast. Yeah, it does. It does. And this is looking a little
Looks
rough.
like Allison.
Oh my God. Is Allison in the chin?
No.
I don't think she is. Okay. I've decided that this nose might be a little bit too, I don't know, I'm gonna add a little bit on here. So again, I'm just gonna add just a smidgen bit of, I think, clay here. And I'll split this in half so it looks like two peas, and then I'm just gonna insert them right here. Perfect. Oh, oops. Welcome to this terrible comedy hour. Except it's not really comedic, or an hour. I don't know.
We're all trying to
Something like
find
that. Okay, so I'll blend this in actually. I think I have to. It's just kind of weird here. Yeah, Summer, what's a good takeaway for you from clay? From kind of, you do a lot of figures, you do.
I do.
Yeah.
I've always liked figurative work. I don't know why. I guess I still haven't figured out. I think I just enjoy working with like the female form.
Uh-huh.
I think clay has allowed me to kind of like, there's something just fun about making. Like you're actually making somebody like a body, and you're making a face, and it's kind of like you can go realistic, or you can go more stylized, and
It's a little bit like writing, you know,
It's a
like
little bit
writing a
like that.
character.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
can be. It can be. Yeah, it can. I think this is coming out okay. It's not my favorite shape. The eyes are kind of weird. It's a little buggy. I think I do need to move on if I'm wanting to do some sort of hair. I just realized it's 7:20 right now, and this leaves it up to like 10 minutes. Is it supposed to be an hour and a half? Yes.
Ideally, but you know, we're all still here and engaged. If you go a little over, that's fine.
Oh, I mean, you know what? It's fine. I can just continue to kind of talk. A braid. I guess it's like figuring out what kind of braid.
Yeah, there's all kinds of braids.
In order to be efficient on time, I'm just going to do one giant braid, probably like right here. There's a couple ways you can do it. I think you can treat it like actual hair. And you can actually just braid it and then kind of attach it together. If you're going to do that, I would recommend using really, really wet clay, right? And that way you can sort of get the shape already kind of coming together. In something like this, I probably should have already figured out and mapped out a lot of the facial features here, but I haven't necessarily done that, and that's okay. You know, these things can sometimes take time. And I guess I didn't really go all that much into this. Is it looking okay? It actually, I think it's looking okay, yeah.
Now, would you, when you're like making braids with like wet clay, would you kind of pull the strands like you're pulling a handle or something to kind of get it wet like that, or is that like too wet?
So the question is, if I would pull it like I was pulling a handle.
Yeah.
You can. I don't think you need to necessarily,
Mhm.
but you can. I don't think there's any wrong way as long as you're compressing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more wet the clay is going to be, the more likely it's going to stick and not crack.
Mhm.
You did a lot of braids. You did a lot of like strands of hair, right?
Yeah. I did strands of hair.
And did it work?
It works, yeah, but I feel like if I were to actually do the braid itself, like an actual braid,
Sure.
I think it would be a lot stronger than just having a strand and then trying to carve into that.
Yeah. I think it depends on the braid itself, depends on the hair type, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the final look here. In this instance, I think I am going to just try to quickly sculpt one. This is probably Insane Town, mostly because I have no reference point, and also I am just, actually, you know what? I will make my own reference point really quickly. Okay, so braiding, again here, if you have a, if you have the ability to make perfect looking rolls, coils of clay, I think this could be really great. And I am just going to cut this real quickly. So a simple kind of 3-part braid here. You can see this, I think, right? Mm-hmm. And again, how does it go? One, oh, I don't know how to do a braid. I just realized. Okay, like this, right? And like this, yeah, and like this, and like this, and like this, and like this, right? So you have a kind of wonderful little quick kind of plait in which it goes in and out. And this can essentially, what I would do with this state, this is pretty wet clay. I would probably gently kind of like squeeze this together. And if I had more clay, I probably would use something akin to this. And I think this actually would work. Maybe perhaps if you're worried about it cracking, you know, on the backside here, you can just sort of like compress this together here really quickly. As long as people don't see it, I think that should be fine. Again, the wetter the clay, the more compression you have, the better I think the whole thing will come together. Obviously, it depends on your clay, depends on kind of when you do this. Ideally, if you can score and slip this, it'd be kind of the most ideal. So then on the front side here, you can't really see anything. It looks great. Look at this beautiful. Buy my merch, guys. It's like, it's not, okay. So what I'm doing is I'm going to look at this and I'm going to do a quick sculpt out of this giant, I think, log right here. So you can see this pattern right here. I'm going to hold it this way. And I'm going to just quickly sculpt this out. Now, I'm using a tool here to really kind of just inset my parts here. And what I'm looking for is I'm essentially just trying to draw this out relatively quickly. And can I do this in time? It's like this, 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 it's like this. Did I get it right? I don't think I'm doing this right. And what you're trying to do here is essentially kind of cut out the shapes, and I perhaps should not have done this. I'm regretting this. So it does help to, I think, draw where the lines are going to go and kind of figuring out that interlocking kind of space. And what I'm going to do here, it's very much so like drawing in clay, which I do tend to love, this idea of drawing in clay. Summer, I'm struggling right now because I did this
braids
wrong.
Are confusing.
Braids are confusing, and I did this wrong. Welcome back to my non-existent channel here.
You had something going with the actual braid.
You know what? Your criticism right now is not what I'm kidding. It's perfectly fine. This is, that's nice, and this is not nice. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm sort of winging this, and guys, don't do this. And essentially, I'm just starting to carve kind of the shapes of what this might look like. If it helps, it's not a bad idea to draw that zigzag kind of pattern here. And I think that might be helpful in kind of determining your kind of shape for your kind of braid here. Did I get this actually? This is not horrible, right?
Oh, I think you can, yeah, you just have to sculpt a little bit more. I think it will.
Yeah, this is my problem. I'm trying to do this really quickly. Maybe I shouldn't have asked for live audience feedback here.
No.
No, that's okay. Whoever suggested braids, thank you. I appreciate your kind of feedback. This is relatively quick, and I guess you could actually make this work. I don't mind this. It's kind of like chunky. I don't like this. It could be a good contrast to kind of some of the things I'm doing already. Okay, so sort of looks like a pineapple. Very, very rough here, but we can assume that this is going to just fit right on top of here. Wonderful. Because I didn't do ears and we're a little bit running out of time here, I'll just kind of do a really quick sculpt on this. Again, with an ear shape, I'm going to make that D shape. Again, on the close-up cam, you're probably seeing this upside down. And I'm going to just take my thumb and my finger, kind of draw this in, draw that in, do a pinch, do a push, and you have an ear. Now the size of this is a little bit off, but you just basically want to kind of like insert this in and call it a day. Ta-da. Now the top of the ear is a little bit off, but you get the idea. Was that the magic trick?
That was pretty great.
You try to want to end every clay workshop with a magic trick. Hopefully you have tricks on tricks and tricks.
Everyone's saying, whoa, or was that some magic?
It basically is 1, 2, 3, right? Yeah, but I've never done this before in my life, guys. Should I try the other one? Let's try the other one. I'll make a bigger one here. It's just really quick, you know, and personally, I like making work that's a little bit more smooth, but I found that when I loosen up a little bit, it can be really interesting. Okay, so shape. What is the shape here? So actually, you know, I can just start off with a slab. One thing that really bothers me is when I make that slab, and students do this all the time, that little rounded edge. You actually want that for this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this like this. And you just want that sort of like that D shape, right? On this side, you can see on the side here, it looks like it's beveled so that when I do kind of inset this into the form, it sits relatively flat. So by default, it should already come outward. Now this ear's a little bit bigger than the other ear. So if it's resting on my palm here, there it is. You can sort of see this. Oh my God, I'm growing an ear. Great. So again, to do this, I can do this a little bit slower here. What I'm doing is I'm tracing this out, the outer edge of your ear shape. Doesn't look like anything much, right? You can see this here. Going in a little bit more, I'm going to kind of stick my hand in here. I'm going to lift it up a little bit, right? This little edge right there, I love that. That little white earlobe right here. It's looking like this little nub right there. And again, you don't have to get it 100% correct. You just need to get it close enough. The suggestion of it is really what's magical here. Okay, so again, here I have here, and I'm just gonna rub it in, push it in, push this in, use the natural quality of the clay to give me that suggestion of that, right? I'm gonna squeeze this a little bit more, soften the outer edge here, and pinch. And basically that's my ear. If I'm being very, very thorough, I can take my wonderful stick here and I will just stick a hole in there and I'll try to open up that cavern. I don't know if you can see this. This is the part where I can really take off. Watch my ASMR, just like, stick this into the hole. Ta-da, amazing.
My mom said, wow, so amazing.
Your mom is joining in? Oh, wow, look at April. April, this is a shout out for you. And then when I place this, you know, I could fix it a little bit more, and that's fine.
That was kind of amazing.
That is pretty good. Welcome. Yeah, no, I just, you know, something fast about doing that too.
It takes me forever to sculpt the ear.
Some people overwork it.
Yeah, I think that's a really great method to get started.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, I've never done this, guys, so you can do it too. I think this wraps up, basically we're at 7:31 right now, but I will take any kind of questions you might have. I welcome any and all kind of feedback, any questions, anything like that. Yeah, sure. I think Sam can ask them. Ken can also ask them too. So. Sure. Once again, thank you everybody as you're thinking about your questions. It's not often that I get asked to do this. I just really appreciate the opportunity. yeah, I don't know what else. Any,
It was really fun. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it. Yeah. We have some questions.
Yeah, hopefully we get it. Feel free to type in the chat, everybody, or unmute yourself. I know our feedback's a little iffy, but this was so fun and so just insightful to watch as well. It was so helpful to see your hands up close and also hear you talk through like your kind of journey over the last year. And oh my gosh, so good to have you back hanging out with NCC and all of the crew that joined us tonight. So my curiosity, what's kind of the plan with this head or next steps? Do you think it'll turn into anything else? You're going to keep going with it?
I don't know. I'm not too happy with it. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I do like this braid. Actually. I look at it more. Next up, I probably would spend a lot. So the majority of my time building isn't a problem. Like I found that building is the easy part. For me, it's like figuring out what direction it needs to go into. And because this is a demo, I generally don't have a strong idea for anything. Normally, I would spend a lot more time kind of figuring that out before actually starting. What am I going to do? This might just get finished off and kind of live here. I do have a lot of friends, so sometimes it's just a matter of like seeing other things. And maybe I have so many of these. It's just like, oh, yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah, great. And also, my favorite person of all time here. This is my Chris Jenner base here. You're doing amazing. Yeah. So I do have a lot of kind of extra things. Yeah, you have a question.
How do you finish up the hole?
Oh, how do I finish off the hole? Oh yeah, there's a giant opening in the top of this. With the magic of TV land, you can't see it. I would make some sort of cup, and then I would just like cup it in. That's actually probably one of the hardest things to do. If you're feeling like you want to take a lot more options, I think one way to do it is like to just cover it with braids. So in this instance, and maybe that's actually a really good idea. In this instance, I may just make a couple of these, and I'll just clap the whole thing over to cover it up. That actually is not a bad idea. And then maybe perhaps you'll take like little weird things and stick it out. I find going a little bit more sculptural can be really fun, and it's just clay. It's my favorite thing about it. Maybe something like that. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
No questions, only comments stuff. So Tiffy said, "Thank you, seriously, Kevin. It's always such a huge pleasure to see and listen to you." And then Aaron Caldwell said, "Such a great demo." And yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. Congratulations. I guess you were a recent recipient of the Warren McKenzie. Thank you, Aaron. You've been incredible. I think your work is important. Yeah, just it's important. Congratulations on being emerging artist, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. That's a big deal. I should probably, I'm too old to be that, right? I'm welcome to Kevin Council for Overwhelmed with everything. But I just think their work is important and it's really great work. And I'm so glad to see that. Yeah. I don't know, anything else?
Miss April asked, "What inspires your work?"
Oh, April! I didn't realize you're here. Hi, April. I hope you're doing well. Again, I was talking about this in the beginning here. Just the importance of self. I'm personally always inspired by. Again, a lot of the work I think I make is autobiographical. So whether that's about what it means to be Chinese, what it means to be, I think, working in a space that may not always be as welcoming as you hope to be. I always think of gender is always something that I'm always interested in, and kind of representations of that inside of that. Earlier I was saying creating figures, because figures oftentimes for me, I want to make figures that are have historically never been represented, just in some sense to see myself in there too. Yeah, is that too much to ask? Putting myself in canons.
No, that's great.
I don't know.
It's a little insert yourself. You're into the canon. If you don't see yourself.
If you don't see yourself, why don't you put yourself
Yeah.
And that's why I think, especially for the clay community, we're at this point, we're at this great reckoning point, look at the education, look at the direction that it has been. And what I'm so excited for is what can be, and what the immediate, not just the immediate, but what can be pretty soon. Yeah.
And said, love the hair pieces you're adding. And then Miss April responded, I love it. So
yeah, great. Other than that though, we probably should wrap it up, right? I don't know, I can stay on forever. You feel free to check Northern Clay Center out. Again, wonderful organization, longstanding, relatively longstanding institution that's been so supportive for everything, especially for, I think, artists of color, emerging artists, artists who may not historically be represented in kind of the larger field. You just give a great platform for everything, especially for our community. Thank you for continuing to do that. And I just think it's just really incredible. Personally, I have a exhibition that just went up last week. Thank you for helping me, Summer. That's at the Kransberg Art Center. You can check this out on my Instagram or my webpage. I don't know, I'm terrible at marketing. Yeah. Did
you put it on here?
I didn't put it on there.
Yeah.
That's fine. I have this show coming up in St. Louis where we are right now. And it's up until July 3rd.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to see you there. I'm hoping that some people who are in this area hopefully can check it out too. Again, thank you so much. I hope you guys continue to make. And again, the pandemic is only our time right now. It's hard to see beyond that. But this too shall pass. And what I think is incredible is just the amount of opportunity we can always see just within our own bedrooms too. Thank you, Tippy. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you to everyone who's at the Northern Clay Center. And I will see you on the flip side.